The lives that they gave, the sacrifice that they made, did not just win a battle. It did not just win a war. Those who fought here won a future for our nation. They won the survival of our civilization. And they showed us the way to love, cherish, and defend our way of life for many centuries to come.
President Trump honoring the heroism of American and Allied troops who stormed the beaches of Normandy 75 years ago today. For more on the D-Day invasion, I'm joined by retired Gunny Sergeant Jessie Jane Duff. Gunny, thanks for joining us.
Good afternoon, Charles.
So share your thoughts, not just of this day, but what we're witnessing today, the celebration of what I'm saying is the greatest day of the greatest generation.
Yes, this is such an example of when the world unites to fight tyranny and evil, what it can accomplish. The morning that they stormed those beaches, the Nazis awoke off of those hillsides and saw over 7,000 naval vessels with 130,000 warriors ready to storm their beaches. And although they had armored that beach in a way that could kill every single one of them, they fearlessly went forward. And when asked, the colonel of the 16th Regiment was told that, hey, what if they destroy you? What if they stop you? He said it won't matter. And he named off multiple regiments and armored units that would follow him. He said some will not survive, but someone will. And when the president gave that speech, if anybody has not heard it, I suggest they look it up online or read it. It will bring tears to your eyes when he acknowledges the men that are sitting right behind him, the 60 men who survived that day. And one was a medic who had already been awarded 2 Purple Hearts in Africa and had gone there with his brother in that first flow that hit Normandy. And almost all the men in his little vessel had died,
right,
except he and his brother. So when you look at this, the sentiment of this, what happened that day, it's amazing, it's surreal, and God bless America and the rest of the world for fighting the evil that lurks among us.
You know, Jessie, of course, Americans stepped up to the plate. And they went and fought that war. They volunteered. You were part of a volunteer military and as a Marine Corps vet. How are you feeling now? Because I know in recent years, you and I have talked about the esprit de corps and where we are. Do you think it's getting better? Do you think we're getting in a position, if things ever got elevated again, that we could also step up and match the valor of previous generations, particularly 75 years ago today?
Well, let's just hope that warfare would never reach the levels that we saw 75 years ago today, because that mass number of death would probably put an impact upon the world that we would never recover. But let's say that there's 1% of this nation that serves, 1%. And out of that, only 0.05% has faced the eyes of evil in Afghanistan and Iraq. So we do not have that type of mindset that we would be on the beaches and sacrifice the lives of 10,000. But my father, who's a World War II veteran, I must shout out to him because he's watching right now. He is the reason I had the fortitude to become a United States Marine.
Real quick, and I'm talking 30 seconds, do you think today went a long way to repairing our relationships with our allies, France in particular, but this whole trip from the UK, Ireland, and then, of course, France?
Absolutely. He called out many of our great allies, from the British onto the Aussies, the Norwegians, the Polish, and the French people. And if there was anybody I missed, I apologize. But he definitely ensured that they were recognized for their sacrifice, too.
Well, I want to say thank you for your service, and certainly thank you to your dad and his service and all vets out there. Sergeant Duff, Gunny, thank you very much.
Thank you, Charles.